Religious groups such as Catholic Charities USA and Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services have been receiving tens of millions in government grants in the past 3 years. In the case of Catholic Charities USA, grants were up to $1.4 billion in taxpayer funds. This is on top of their $1 billion in private funds the charity received in 2021. Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Services received another $182 million in 2022 from the Department of Health and Human Services. Other nonprofits that received monies were such as World Church Services, who received more than $20 million in 2022. News Nation spoke to a migrant named Robert who claimed that the NGOs paid for multiple plane and bus trips with multiple nights in hotels. Alright. Oh, and NGOs now face scrutiny after it was found that funds from the America Rescue Plan were misspent and in some cases were given to illegal migrants. Oh, and there's also other articles saying that it's basically NGOs running the show in the southern border. So, yeah, it's NGOs that are making a lot of profit off of this, and it's a way that the feds can kind of do what the establishment wants, which is bring in cheap labor from all around the world and get them to vote Democrat. And they're able to do all these things by getting non-government groups to basically do it all for them. And there's also other articles saying that NGOs and cartels are basically working hand in hand. The cartels are telling the migrants, give us money, we'll get you to the border. And from there, there's groups that can send you anywhere you want to go in America. And these groups are the NGOs. And, they have ties to religious groups like the Lutherans and the Catholic Church. So find out if your church is supporting this. Find out if I don't know what they call them in other, synagogues or mosques. I don't know what they call them. The church leaders, the leaders of these religious groups. Find out if they're pushing this, if they're aiding this, and expose them for it if they are. If they're not, well then good. But these are ways that we need to stop this. And also another way what we can do is sue them, just like how they're doing it to Trump. To try and slow him down, we could sue them, and even if the case goes in our favor, it probably won't. At least it'll be enough to slow them down and get them, instead of using the money to spend on helping illegal immigrants go into that country, we could force them to spend it on lawyers and more lawyers and more lawyers. Just the same playbook that they're using on Trump, we should do on them. And if your church is unfortunately helping these people out in these groups, then you could either stop going. That'll be the basic thing that you could go to a different church, or you could expose the leaders of the church. So another thing, almost forgot. Eric Adams, New York City mayor, wraps up Latin America trip with a call for right to work for migrants in the U.S. So yeah, before I used to think that Eric Adams was going to be a center-left Democrat. He was born there, he was raised there, he served as a police officer in the city of New York City. So I thought he was going to be at least a basic mayor, but no. And to not be too harsh on him, he can't really control what goes on the border, but he can't really control the influx. But the things he can control, he's done horrible. I mean, okay, maybe you can't control how many immigrants there are in your city, but to remove Americans and even worse, veterans from their homes, from their shelters, just so you could put migrants in there, that's ridiculous. To put put them in schools or across the street from schools. That's unacceptable. And put them in hotels, 4 5-star hotels, and all they do is drink and party up all night. It's ridiculous. And now you want to give first of all, it was AOC that kind of started this crap with giving the migrants a right to work, and now he's following right behind her. So it's time for the people of New. And unfortunately, we can't all do this. It has to be Democrats. Democrats have to be the one that remove these ridiculous, idiotic mayors. It has to be Democrats. Unfortunately, it can't be Republicans because basically no major city is run by a Republican. So the Democrat, and I think they will at some point if this continues. And I'll probably be wrong, but I'll say it. I think if this keeps going, if migrants keep going to New York, I would not be surprised if New York flips. Like I've said, I might be wrong. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if New York flips. I've met people from New York, and a lot of them tell me that this is a pretty big issue. And they're people that just came to Texas from New York, and a lot of them have told me that they have family members and friends that are still there, and they say that they're pissed, that they hate the influx of migrants. And I mean, who doesn't? I have family in Mexico. They're telling me the same thing. They're sick and tired of it. And now even Mexico's making moves to try to get rid of them. But anyways, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter /X at Marco Rojas 33. Thanks for watching.